My fellow poets, man, I'm trying to get out the light here. My fellow poets, okay, so here's a scenario on how you can make a little bit of money doing spoken word. It's a strategy. It's not a straightforward pay me to perform, or somebody wants you to perform and you want to get paid. It's a lot more to it than that. And I'm going to tell you how I got paid doing spoken word. As I said in the earlier video, when you make a name for yourself and you just out here doing a lot of things, your name starts to ring within the community. And therefore, if there's 5 people in the room, and they talk about spoken word, your name should come up. So I've done poetry at Vanderbilt. I've done events at Fisk, paid events at TSU, Dr. Holt. I forgot the lady at Fisk. Just different places I've done spoken word that I got paid for. But I got paid for because of my name was what it was. Again, it wasn't the greatest time. But I mainly got paid because I did my own shows. I headlined myself. I paid for the venue. I charged people to get in, and I would pack the house, and I made money from that, from doing that. But I put up all the money up front. But another way you can get paid, if you are making a name for yourself, and somebody calls you and say, let's just say, my name is Guru the Poet, and and somebody calls me and say, I want you on the show now, and I say, hey, well, I want $100, let me back up a little bit. There are certain questions that needs to be asked when somebody calls you to ask you to do a show. Like, basically, how much are you charging at the door? You ask the promoter how much are they charging. You ask them how long they want you to perform. And you know what I'm saying? I had a rate where if I did 2 or 3 pieces, $75, that's cool. That was like 15 minutes worth of work. If they wanted me to actually do a whole featured set and they was going to put me on top billing on their flyer and they really advertising me, the price was different. But the cool thing about me was that what I used to tell a lot of promoters is that you're getting promotion from me. Like, I would promote myself because I knew it worked in my benefit. I would promote myself. Even if it ain't my show, I'm on somebody else's show, I still promote it myself. And then that way, if a promoter was paying me $300, $150 or whatever, I knew that I could pay myself because I knew 15 people was going to come simply because I was there. And so I used that as a tool to say, hey, you can pay me this because I'm going to get at least 25 people there. So, so I'm paying for myself basically because these people are going to come because I'm performing. And so basically having that leverage with a name to be able to say, hey, this is what I'm worth, or this is what I can do for you if I'm on your show. Now, here's some of the intangibles. Listen to this whole video because I'm telling you some very important things. Some of the intangibles here, because there's a lot of politics that plays a part of this behind the scenes that you don't even know about. When somebody contacts you to perform, somebody may contact you that you don't necessarily care for and you don't want to be on an event. It's the intangibles that really kept me ahead of the game. If I didn't want to perform somewhere, I found a nice way to tell them no. But what you don't do is totally ignore somebody when they contact you or they thought enough about you to reach out to you, whether you like them or not, or whether it's a good situation for you or not. Respond to every call and respond to every email that is sent to you or text. You just got to find a nice way, because what happens is when you don't respond, you are making enemies, because that promoter is going to go call this promoter, oh, such and didn't even respond to me, oh, such and such didn't even respond or whatever. And so that promoter's going like, well, I'm not even going to reach out to that person. And it starts to have a domino effect on you've booked out of a lot of shows and not even know it because nobody's reaching out to you because you didn't respond to this guy or you didn't respond to that guy. And then you have a reputation behind the scenes of somebody who is not very responsive. I actually know a great poet that was like that, and she never really got that far, in my opinion, because the mud that was on her name, you know what I'm saying? And it was too bad because she was really dope, but she wasn't very responsive. And so what happens, eventually people stop asking her to do stuff, you know what I'm saying? And you know, you left on the outside trying to get in, all because you didn't respond. People take that very personal. Also understand when you must perform for free versus performing for money. If you are going to an event, a platform, let's just say Soul Food Poetry Cafe, right? That's a pretty big platform. At the City Winery, they do it every few months or whatever, however long she do it. What's going on, Imani? Peace. So if you are asked to be on that show, you're probably going to get paid, but you may not get paid. And what I mean by that is, Imani, you know, she usually pay people, you know what I'm saying? I didn't. If you didn't have the type of name that didn't bring revenue to the show, I didn't think it was fair to pay you, you know what I'm saying? I feel like that if there's a platform that's bigger than your name, then you need to get on there and get some exposure. You need to, you know, and that's how you play chess with the game. Get on, if you go to the Soul Food Poetry Cafe and you're not getting paid, you'll get paid later for that. You know, and, you know, for instance, like when I was performing at Love Noise, I made so much money. I wasn't making money in the current moment, but because they had a nice platform and I was building up a nice name for myself, I got paid many years after that because I was doing that show. I was doing Love Noise every week, you know, to a point now people still know me from Love Noise. And, you know, but that's how I worked it, because I knew that once I started to build the D-Revolution brand, that wherever I was at, which it actually started while Love Noise was still going on Sunday nights, I was able to pack out every show because of all the free stuff I did. You know what I'm saying? And if you really want people to take notice of you, there's a thing that says that you must put in 100,000 hours of free service before some. I don't really know. I mean, you know, I don't know how true that is, but I've definitely done a lot of free stuff. But I did a lot of free events in order to get paid later. And so you have to play chess with it. You got to do some free stuff. If you got a CD, you got to give out a couple of free CDs. You got to promote yourself. You want people to know who you are. They're not necessarily gonna buy your CD or come see you if they don't know who you are or they haven't heard your name or whatever. So sometimes you gotta kind of, you know, hey, listen to my CD, check me out. You know, my first CD, I gave out probably most of those. But when I brought out my second CD, they sold like crazy because people heard my first CD that they didn't buy, but I gave so many of them out that by the time I released my second spoken word CD, they were selling like crazy. You know what I'm saying? And I like released the second one like maybe a year, maybe less than a year or a year after the first one, so I was still fresh on people's mind. And when people asked me to do a show, I already had like a little scale, you know, that I would tell them 15 minutes, $75, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Or if you want me to do this and that, you know what I'm saying? And so basically, get your numbers together on what you're worth and what your status is worth and what you're going to bring to the table as a promoter. If they hire you to perform, are you going to promote it? It does nothing but help you to promote it yourself, because it looks like to the masses that, oh man, Guru the Poet is everywhere. He's doing this, he's doing that. So, you know, once that ring of Guru the Poet starts to ring, you know, it's like you can't stop that momentum. Once that momentum starts going, it starts building up, it really doesn't stop. If you keep marketing yourself, it doesn't stop. But that's how you get paid as a poet. It's a lot to go to it. You decide what formula is right for you, but definitely don't look for the money right up front. You see what you can get from it over the long term. And don't miss a lot of shows because somebody said that they can't pay you this or pay you that. If you are, depending on where you are in your poetry career, you can't afford to do that. If you plan on doing this for the long haul, do some free stuff, get your name known. Make sure you become a part of the platforms that's bigger than you. Expose yourself, and then the next time Soul Food Poetry Cafe call you, well, you Guru the Poet, they will come at you different. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, what, Guru, can you come down here and perform? Can you come and be on the show? The approach is going to be different because Guru's out here doing his thing, and that's how it works. Now I want you on my show. I'm willing to pay you to be there because you're Guru the Poet, and that's how it works. You know what I'm saying? That's how it works. Period. There's really no more to say about that. Like and subscribe to my page. I'm gonna be giving you some good advice on spoken word, writing, vending, different things like that. I'm gonna be dropping some good knowledge and some street knowledge on how to make this thing benefit you and work for you. It's worked for me, and it should work for you. Peace. I'm D Revolution.